The UK government just exposed alien life and basically went on to talk about what they would do if they needed to disclose alien life to the UK population. And this is pretty huge because we're always here on this channel and other YouTube channels talking about disclosure, talk about the alien. Governments need to tell us about things. And over in America, we always see these congressional hearings regarding UFOs, UAPs and the like, but never really in other countries, let alone the UK. But this is literally a 3-minute topic of the UK government talking about discussing aliens. This is crazy. So just a quick note before we continue. While trying to explore the truth about aliens and UFOs, it can be hard to hide from the men in black. That's why we use Surfshark. Surfshark keeps our online identity safe, and in case you don't know what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network, and is brilliant for keeping your devices safe when using the internet, especially when out and about using public Wi-Fi where your devices are at their most vulnerable of being hacked, or maybe where the FBI can find you the easiest. Surfshark isn't just amazing for online safeguarding though, it also allows me to find movies and shows that aren't accessible in my area. So I can change my location and watch anything I want at any time. And with Surfshark being the only VPN to allow unlimited devices per account, not only am I entertained, but my toddler is too. Especially on those ridiculously long journeys when Lainey decides that she wants to take hours to drive to go and do something incredibly mundane. So secure your privacy with Surfshark today and use our coupon code LXB for an extra 3 months for free. Sign up today and stay safe, and like me, keep away from Will Smith and the Men in Black. Anyway, let's get into talking about some aliens. So this is a TikTok that just says UK discusses aliens.
Blame the Clarks for them. They are entirely my own invention.
All my own work.
All my own work. As has been mentioned, we are about to launch an inquiry into astronomy. And at our briefing last week, one of the questions was, what is the purpose of astronomy? And we were given some very excellent answers, but one of them was to look for the evidence of extraterrestrial life in any form. Let's not kid ourselves, we're looking for little green men. And I think that would fundamentally change our understanding of our place in the universe if we were to find evidence of life outside of Earth. Does the government specifically fund the search for extraterrestrial life, or is it just through the general astronomy program? And secondly, if life were found in whatever form, does the government have a plan about how that would be shared with the public? Is it?
Now, this is where it gets interesting because obviously, the whole idea of disclosure, the reason that we supposedly haven't had it yet is because the information's being trickled out, so it becomes normalized, it becomes a run-of-the-mill thing. And it's not like a info dump to panic everyone. It's you talk about aliens, but also there's a cost of living crisis. So no one actually cares about the alien stuff because everyone's so worried about their own personal situations, but just listen.
Is it just trickle out of the 6 o'clock news, or is there, is it on the risk register, for example?
To the best of my knowledge, it is not on the risk register. Obviously, in terms of the communication plan, that would depend on the exact specifics of the hypothetical that we're talking about and how it would play out, and would also be a cross-government undertaking with particular Cabinet Office involvement.
If I might...
Now, that's interesting, obviously, because, for example, if the UK had evidence of UFOs, basically what she's saying is we would go to other governments and be we're going to talk about this, prepare yourselves, prepare your broadcasters, whatever, that this is going to be coming, and let them know, to not exaggerate these things, because, controlled disclosure is what we're after, people, not mass panic, apparently.
I might just add very briefly, we have a small effort within our space team looking at the question of how we would handle such an announcement. But by the way, by far the most likely scenarios here are not ones that would feature on the risk register. These are actually, the finding of what is likely to be, relatively local, relatively unadvanced microbial life. It could actually be a really important catalysing moment for the UK science community. And
you can see why I'm loath to ask the question, because I can hear sniggering.
Not from me, Stephen.
No. Because actually, we are looking for it. You've just so I just wondered, where, how seriously that is taken, and it is taken to to a level.
Appropriately serious.
Appropriately seriously. This is going to get even more. Wait for the...
Appropriately seriously. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, does that actually mean anything? When I hear appropriately seriously, because he said it's taken seriously, she's like, appropriately seriously. It's like, that basically means that it's anywhere near the top of your priority or list or anything like that. But, you know, and they don't particularly care for it.
Sniggers, but while we were in the States doing our AI inquiry, there were hearings taking place on the Hill about unidentified aerial phenomena. Does the government have any views on those, or did it look on with astonishment? Does it have departments that look at these things as well? Are they thinking of having hearings on UFOs?
I mean, we're not planning on any hearings at the moment, but of course we work very closely with our allies on all of these topics, and we have a goal to be one of the most innovative space sectors in the world, and our relationship with America on this agenda is incredibly important.
Were you surprised they held those hearings?
I don't think I was surprised, I was intrigued.
Yes, I think we're all intrigued. Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Well, it's interesting to note that there is, in terms of our preparedness, a preparedness for communication should such a discovery be made. It's a fascinating.
I think the chair's like reaction at the end there was basically everyone's reaction. It was like, you know, well, first of all, hearings in the UK would be absolutely awesome regarding UFOs and UAPs. Obviously, you know, over in America, they've set up the Task Force Arrow. They've also got these congressional hearings, like kind of spearheaded by congressmen, and congresswomen, and also David Grush and other whistleblowers. And I would love to see that kind of thing in the UK. I think that'd be so cool because, you know, the UK don't really speak out about this kind of situation, but also very, very interesting that the government have a prepared plan should there be the need for disclosure. My question is why? The government wouldn't go out of their way to create something like this if they didn't need to. They got bigger fish to fry. So why would they need or feel the need to have this kind of disclosure should they need to? Like this kind of prepared speech in advance if we weren't actively looking for it or didn't actually know something about it. That's interesting to me. Like raises a couple of eyebrows, and the chair's response at the end was kind of the response of the rest of the world, I think, to this. But the UK, there's got a bit of a shady history when it comes to UFOs and kind of keeping things hush-hush. Hence, the Calvine photograph. Now, most of you probably are very well aware of this whole incident. It was one of the biggest kept secrets for UFOs, probably in history, alongside Roswell and other things like this. And it has been dubbed the world's clearest UFO photo. Now, this comes from a Lad Bible kind of insert, but you know, not the most reputable source, but you know, they're not awful. So the world's clearest UFO photo was taken in the UK back in 2022. The photo of the UFO was revealed to the world, and it was snapped by two unknown hikers in the Scottish Highlands, which had been hidden from the public for 30 years. Now, I believe it was near the town of Perth in Scotland. So according to the eyewitnesses, the UFO hovered in the air for about 10 minutes before shooting upwards and disappearing. Dubbed the Calvine photograph, negatives and the pictures were originally handed to Scotland's Daily Record newspaper, which in turn sent it to the Ministry of Defence, but they were never shown to the public until some 3 decades later. But there are some other some other details to this incident that they didn't include here, which was that I believe it was sent to some universities like Sheffield University and other universities around the UK to verify the images, and the images were actually verified as completely legitimate and untampered with. So it makes the whole situation crazy because you've got 30 years of basically being hidden. It was taken back in 1990 by the hikers. So first of all, you know, it was sent to the MOD and they decided to classify it. This is some Pentagon shit right now. But you've also got, I just found this little video which gives a few more details regarding the whole situation. So let's take a little listen to this.
The Calvine photograph. August 1990, Calvin, Scotland. Two hikers took a photograph that would eventually be dubbed the world's clearest UFO photo. In the picture, a diamond-shaped object is hovering or flying in the sky with a fighter jet flying right behind it. According to the hikers, the object hovered in the sky for 10 minutes and emitted a low hum. The hikers took a total of 6 photographs of the object and shared them with Scotland's Daily Record newspaper. The newspaper shared these photos with the Ministry of Defence, but for reasons unknown, the photographs disappeared from public eye. The pictures were never published and went missing for 32 years until an associate professor at the Sheffield Hallam University traced one of the pictures to a former Royal Air Force officer, Craig Lindsay, who held on to one of the last original prints. This was the first time the photo described as the world's clearest picture of a UFO would be released to public.
Now, obviously, this guy was, clearly very enthusiastic about this whole topic and very interested. But, he gives a good rundown about the information. But I've also found
recently there's something that came out that Chip said you were reading about all weekend.
This classified picture was classified for like 40 years or something. That was actually taken in Scotland, not too far from where Cal is from
Perth.
And it's been verified by like Sheffield University or something, which doesn't sound too legit. But I mean, you got the top Donnies there, and it is something in the sky, and it looks.
It's the most alien-looking thing. It looks straight out of a movie, like Star Wars.
It's like a diamond flipped on its side, and it's in the sky, and it looks like some out of Star Wars.
Recently, there's something that came out.
There you go. So, the UK's got some shady history when it comes to UFOs. Obviously, it's not the first and only time that this has ever happened. There are other countless infamous UFO cases in the UK, but this was kind of one of the biggest that came out of the past couple of years. Because of the conspiracy and the secrecy around it, for it to be classified, for 32 years, for it to be sent to the MOD and then be so kind of confused and concerned about it that they don't want it out in the public. And then it's verified by Sheffield University. Yes, it's not one of the top universities in the UK. If it was Oxford, we'd be talking very differently, but it's still a university with some top leading people in this field taking a look at the photography. So it's really interesting, and I want to know what you guys have to say. Do you think that around the world there is this unsaid secret regarding UFOs, where it's we know stuff, and in case anything ever got leaked, you need to be you need a little thing out the back to get the information out there discreetly should you need to. And who do you think is going to be the first country to release that information? I'm intrigued. Get down in the comments, let me know what you think. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, and tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload. And until next time, I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.